Hey guys, it's nearly midnight here in the UK. I was too impatient. I am too impatient to wait till next day until tomorrow. In other words, well, technically today, to when I wake up to do this video. So I thought I'd do it before I go to sleep. But anyway, hope you checked out part 1 and 2 and enjoyed it. And as I'd love to know your comments. And I keep getting these strange posts. Which seem to be links to adult sites or something, so please, that's not coming from me, so please ignore that sort of stuff. It's probably not very trustworthy links, so I generally just tend to ignore it. I think YouTube probably removes them anyway. But anyway, so I hope you'll enjoy this video. And please share it and like it and support it generally as much as you can. I really appreciate it. Okay, anyway, peace and love. Right, so number 21. I'll say continuing on from the list, in case anyone stumbled across this, please check out part 1 and 2 because I do these 3-part videos. Anyway, so point 21, I hope that anyone with Irish descent will support Celtic, whether that's in America or Canada or Germany or Japan or expats anywhere in the world or even here in the UK or even in England, or any Irish people of Irish descent around the world, I think should support Celtic because the Irish roots and connections, and possibly even generally speaking, like people from migrant backgrounds or migrant families, and Celtic did a lot to support migrants during the crisis. Obviously, it's a club made of Irish, initially made of Irish immigrants, and it has a strong link to Irish immigration. So I think anyone with Irish blood, like Scotch Irish in America, or Irish people around in America, like people are part Irish and part German or part Irish and part Italian or whatever, but people with Irish descent or Irish blood, I think, should support Celtic in my opinion. Again, this is all about my opinion. As ever, I'd love to know what you think. So yeah, the Irish diaspora. Number 22, I'll say I'd love to have like ambassadors representing the club internationally and making more people find out about Celtic and supporting Celtic around the world. And I've seen someone from India make who's a big football fan on YouTube. From what I gather, I think his channel's something to do with Superpower Football. Talking about how Celtic had the first, I think it was probably the first player from India to play outside of India. Like kind of, I think he might have only played a couple of games for the club, but he made this thing saying #India loves Celtic because I think Celtic really tried to support this player as much as they could, and he was probably from a very poor background. And his story is quite interesting. I think his name is or was Mohammed Salim, which is quite interesting. He shares the same initials as me and Mohammed Salah. But anyway, he was probably the Mohammed Salah of his day. Maybe not that good, but he was still a good player. But yeah, so people from India and China and around Asia, I'd love to see them support and have fan clubs around the world, including in those countries. 23, I'd love to have things like, again, supporters groups like Philanthropists Together United for Celtic, or N.G.Os for Celtic, Charities Together United for Celtic, and things like that, because of all the charity work they do with the foundation. And I know like Rio Ferdinand's foundation did, obviously the former Man United and West Ham player, did a lot of football matches, or at least a few football matches for charity with Celtic. Maybe in the future I'd love to see, and maybe even be part of those, and like do fundraising for people across Asia and Africa and around the world. But I hope to talk about my dreams for Celtic as well, as well as my general dreams on Friday, all being well. 24, I hope for people who from countries that are colonised, especially ones that are colonised from the UK, like former Commonwealth countries or current Commonwealth countries, like mainly in Asia and Africa and even the Americas perhaps, and Australia, like Aborigines and Maoris, and people like that, supporting Celtic with its roots to Ireland, which was colonised, and like thinking about some of the range of songs like the Billy Boys or We're Up to Our Knees in Fenian Blood and things like that. and about the potato famine and things like how they sing those sorts of things. So I think that it would be great to see Celtic represent those clubs. And again, on Friday, I hope to talk about how I'd love Celtic to get like be tax exempt or things like that, or people to have like Celtic fans to be able to, or even other people to be able to like Celtic to be like a tax exempt sort of thing and have tax status and like investing in it because you're investing in a poor Glaswegian community. Hopefully, I'd love to see them people be able to put their money into Celtic and like instead of taxes or things like that as much as possible. I'd love to have like solicitors for Celtic and lawyers for Celtic, doctors for Celtic, and all sorts of groups, perhaps if that's possible, and anti-imperialists for Celtic, especially, and things like 25 people from republics and countries where tricolour, like France and Ireland, and Italy, possibly even Germany. I think should support Celtic, and also like people from the Americas, like Argentina and Brazil. I'd love to see Celtic have more fans from those places. But especially from Italy, and again, I'd love to have that network between Italy and Celtic. Again, countries from the republics and from the Mediterranean and from republics with tricolours and that sort of thing. 26, again, anti-imperialists, I'd love to see supporting Celtic. 27, obviously, as Celtic does, hopefully Celtic will do more work overseas as well, which I hope will benefit those people, but also be a mutually beneficial thing, because hopefully people from those countries will also reward Celtic by supporting them and buying their kits, and that will help the club gain a more positive image around the world and things like that. So I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Sorry, got a right nose as usual. But yeah, so I'd love to see people whose charity Celtic support, and for rewarding them with their support for the good work Celtic do in charity around the world, which again I hope they'll do more of in the future. Excuse me. And again, they can raise money for like fundraisers, football matches on YouTube and things like that, and even host events between other between like YouTube football fan channels and things like that, of which I'd love to be part of, like Celtic Park and things like that. And I know like Celtic did stuff to help people in Palestine, and which is quite a controversial one. Like me personally, I like remain as neutral as possible, and in terms of Israel and Palestine, and I don't like to take sides, but I like to try and make peace between the two. But I suppose if you do support Palestine, I suppose that would be a good reason to support Celtic and probably Arabic fans around the world, and that sort of thing. And hopefully wealthy Arab sheikhs will invest money into Celtic as well. And if what I talked about in part 2, where the Chindian network between China and India and the governments there getting together and investing in football like in Celtic, if that doesn't work, which unfortunately is probably likely, but you never know, I suppose, I might dream it. If that doesn't work, then maybe some of the Arab sheikhs, just like the Qataris and people like that, who have invested in clubs like Man City, people like those could invest in, maybe even those with even more money, hopefully, can invest in Celtic. Again, I might dream. 28, I hope Celtic will do a lot of work to help those, like help the DEC, Disasters Emergency Committee, or Médecins Sans Frontières, or Doctors Without Borders, or whatever. And in return, hopefully they'll thank the club and promote the club and all that sort of thing. And it will raise the PR of the club as well. So hopefully, again, it'll be a mutual beneficial. It's not that they're doing that just to gain popularity or fans, but they're doing that, and hopefully it will also generate fans as well and help other people. So I think that'd be great, like a double success, if you like, or mutually beneficial, as I say. And also, so I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, so fundraising for things like, to tackle things like coronavirus or try and prevent it from things like that happening in the future, and support scientists and doctors from Africa and Asia, and training and medical support, and in terms of education and STEM education in Africa and similar things in Asia and things like that. 29, I once again hope to encourage POC for Celtic, and also diversity, diverse groups, Antifa, anti-racist, people of colour, as I say, and mixed race people, especially fellow mixed race people, olive skin and mixed race, and possibly learn disabled people unite for Celtic and things like that. And number 30, I'd love to know what you think about my quirky and crazy ideas, and which are your least or most favourite, or anything else you can think of. So please, therefore, share any thoughts you have. As I say, all comments welcome during the speech and all that. So peace and love.